The human delegation floated through the silent corridors of the Galactic Council's massive station. The walls were made of polished metal that reflected the lights above, and the air hummed with energy from countless engines and systems. Humans were not used to being in such immense structures. They had traveled far across empty space, guided by the stars, to reach this place. The Galactic Empire had called them weak and primitive, yet they now stood among beings from hundreds of worlds. Commander Ethan Brooks adjusted his uniform and looked at the crowd of alien diplomats surrounding them. Beside him, Engineer Lisa Carter checked her data pad nervously, though she hid it behind her back. Pilot Jack Morgan leaned casually against the railing, but his eyes scanned every corner of the hall. Humans had been called Deathworld survivors for decades, but they had their pride, and they were determined to show the Empire that Earth had something worth noticing. The Imperial observers arrived soon after. Massive, armored beings with metal plating covering their bodies, they moved with slow, precise steps. Their eyes were dark, unfeeling, and filled with a kind of arrogance that humans could feel even from a distance. Their leader, Admiral Loran, spoke first. His voice was deep and hollow, echoing through the hall. "We have observed your planet," he said. "We find it curious that primitive life has developed vessels and weapons. Perhaps this is your attempt to join the civilized systems." Ethan spoke calmly, trying to keep his voice steady. "Our technology may be small compared to yours, but it is designed for survival, adaptability, and efficiency. We believe it has value in joint missions and training exercises." The aliens laughed. The sound was harsh, metallic, and it filled the hall with an unpleasant vibration. "Training exercises?" Loran sneered. "You send these tiny, fragile ships against our fleets. It would be amusing to watch them fail. Do you not fear destruction?" Ethan did not flinch. He had expected this. Lisa tightened her grip on her pad. Jack folded his arms. "We do not fear, we seek to learn and to test. Let our ships demonstrate their capabilities. We ask only for a chance." Loran's eyes narrowed. He did not like the human confidence. He waved a clawed hand, and a hollow display appeared between them. It showed the Earth prototypes. They looked simple, almost crude, like metal boxes with weapons attached. Compared to the sleek, massive Imperial cruisers, they were laughable. "These," he said. "These are your best. They will not survive a single volley from our fleets." Ethan did not respond immediately. Instead, he looked at Lisa, then Jack, and nodded slightly. Lisa's fingers flew across her data pad, activating systems that only the humans knew about. Jack's eyes gleamed with anticipation. The humans had prepared for this moment for years, designing ships that could survive what seemed impossible. The Empire believed in power through size and numbers, but humans believed in adaptability, courage, and strategy. The aliens continued to mock them, showing images of past battles where they crushed other species. They spoke of firepower, shields, and fleets of thousands. Their words were meant to intimidate, but Ethan listened carefully, noting their strategies and weaknesses. He turned back to the aliens. "We accept your challenge. Let the exercise begin. You will see that even a small vessel with the right crew can surprise the mightiest fleet." Loran's lips curled in what seemed like a grin. "Very well, we shall humor you. Our fleets are ready to test your tiny ships. Prepare yourselves for embarrassment, humans." After the meeting, the human team returned to their ship, the Atlas. It was small, sleek, and looked almost unfinished to an outsider. Captain Nathan Cole, a tall man with sharp eyes, greeted them on the bridge. Tactical Officer Amy Turner and Systems Chief Ryan Bell were already monitoring the instruments. The hum of the ship's engines and systems felt like home to the humans, a place where they were in control, even in alien space. Ethan explained what had happened in the council chamber. "They laughed. They insulted our ships. They think we are weak. They do not know what we can do. We will show them." Nathan nodded. "We are ready. The Atlas is equipped for situations like this. Our systems can adapt. Our crew is prepared. This is not just a test of technology. It is a test of human ingenuity and courage." Amy smiled slightly. "I have studied their fleet patterns. They are predictable in some ways. Their strength is in numbers, but their coordination has gaps. We can exploit that." Ryan added, "The prototype has shielding and weapons that appear inactive until activated. Sensors will misread us. They will think we are slow and weak. That will be our advantage." The humans spent hours checking every system. They ran simulations, tested targeting arrays, and practiced maneuvers. They did not need to boast. They knew that when the moment came, action would speak louder than words. Outside, the stars moved silently, indifferent to the preparations below. Meanwhile, the Empire prepared its fleets. Warships of immense size assembled in the orbit of a dead star system chosen for the exercise. Thousands of Imperial soldiers and crews checked weapons, shields, and engines. Their arrogance was thick. They did not worry about a small human vessel. In their minds, Earth would fail. It was only a question of how quickly. Back on the Atlas, Ethan watched the alien fleets gather through the observation window. He felt a mixture of nerves and pride. Humans had been underestimated for too long. Their technology was small, but it was clever. Their ships could survive conditions the Empire would never expect. "Remember," he said quietly, "they have power, but we have resilience. One ship can make a difference if we are smart and united." Jack leaned back in his chair. "I hope they enjoy being surprised," Lisa smiled. "They won't see it coming, not until it's too late." The Atlas left the station under human command, moving toward the dead star system. Its engines glowed softly, a small beacon in the vast darkness of space. As they approached the exercise zone, sensors began to pick up the massive Imperial formations. Ships filled the sensor arrays, massive shapes moving in perfect order, firing sequences timed and calculated to perfection. The humans watched, learning the rhythm of the Empire but not intimidated. Nathan spoke to his crew. "We are ready. Stay calm, stay focused, and remember your training. The Empire expects failure. We will give them something they will not forget." Amy adjusted her controls. "Their shields are strong but slow to adapt. We can test that," Ryan added. "The weapons are powerful but predictable. Their strategy relies on fear and numbers. We can exploit that too." As the Atlas approached the central area of the fleet, Imperial scouts noticed the small human ship. Their sensors immediately reported the unusual readings of its adaptive systems. Admiral Loran's voice came over the comms, full of disdain. "Human vessel detected. Prepare to humiliate them. They will learn that nothing survives Imperial firepower." Ethan looked at Nathan. "Let them think that. The moment we strike, it will change everything." The human crew felt the tension, but also excitement. They knew the galaxy had doubted humans for decades. Every planet that called Earth primitive, every fleet that mocked their small ships, would soon witness that humans could fight in ways no one expected. The Atlas was more than a prototype. It was a symbol of human resilience, ingenuity, and courage. The stars ahead seemed quiet, but humans understood that silence often came before the storm. The Empire had strength in numbers, but humans had something greater: the ability to adapt, survive, and think beyond expectation. And so, the Atlas moved forward toward a fleet that believed humans were weak. And humans moved forward, ready to prove that no fleet, no matter how large or powerful, could underestimate the determination and skill of one determined crew. The Atlas moved silently through the empty space toward the dead star system. The stars glimmered faintly, distant and cold, as if watching the humans approach. Captain Nathan Cole stood on the bridge, staring at the massive Imperial fleet that had gathered. The ships were enormous, filled with weapons, shields, and crews trained to perfection. To anyone else, it would have been terrifying, but Nathan only saw numbers and patterns, weaknesses hidden under layers of arrogance. Tactical Officer Amy Turner pointed at the sensor display. "Their formation is rigid. They rely on coordination and firepower. Any small ship moving unpredictably could slip through their defenses." Systems Chief Ryan Bell added, "Our readings are stable. The Atlas looks like a weak ship on their sensors. Our cloaking and sensor masking is working. They probably think we are slow and harmless." Pilot Jack Morgan leaned forward, gripping the control panel. "Good, let them underestimate us. It will make the first move easier. Once we start, there is no turning back." Ethan Brooks, observing from the command console, spoke quietly. "Remember, we are testing. If we can survive the first wave, we can learn their patterns and strike smarter. The Empire is strong, but their confidence is their weakness." The humans spent the next hours quietly preparing. The Atlas had systems that no one outside Earth knew about. Its engines could accelerate faster than sensors could track, and its weapons could adapt to shield patterns in real time. The aliens had never fought humans before. They had only mocked them from afar. That arrogance would work in the humans' favor. Finally, the Imperial Admiral gave the order. A massive ship in the center of the fleet fired a warning volley toward the Atlas. The humans felt the tremor through the ship, but it was nothing the crew could not handle. The shots burned past them, wide of the mark. The Empire expected fear, but the humans remained calm. Nathan spoke to his crew. "They are testing us. Do not panic. Wait for the right moment." Amy adjusted the targeting systems. "We are ready. Their shields will not adjust quickly enough." Ryan checked the power levels. "We can fire a limited volley without revealing our full capability, one shot at a time." Jack smiled, a mix of nerves and excitement. "Let's make them regret underestimating us." The first human attack was subtle. The Atlas fired small projectiles, nearly invisible to Imperial sensors, targeting weak points in the shields of one of the outer ships. The projectiles moved unpredictably, guided by adaptive systems that learned from every movement of the enemy vessel. The Imperial crews were confused. Their shields flared, trying to adapt, but they could not predict the patterns. One by one, minor damage appeared. Alarms blared across the Imperial fleet, but no one knew what was happening. Admiral Loran's voice was sharp. "Target the human ship, concentrate firepower, destroy it before it causes real damage." But the humans moved faster than the Empire anticipated. The Atlas twisted and turned, engines flaring unpredictably. It dodged volleys of plasma fire, slipping through openings the Empire thought were impossible. Ethan watched from the command console. "They do not expect our speed and maneuvering. They think strength is in size." "We know strength is in strategy." Lisa Carter, monitoring the systems, added, "Our weapons adapt faster than their shields. Each strike is learning from the last." As the battle continued, the humans began to exploit every weakness. The Empire fired volleys at where the Atlas had been, but the ship was already in another position. Ryan Bell adjusted the engines for sudden bursts. Amy targeted shield generators on Imperial ships with precise, small shots. Slowly, damage began to accumulate. Nathan spoke calmly. "We are doing more than defending. We are learning them. Every move they make teaches us how to strike harder next time." Jack added, "And every miss makes them more nervous. They are panicking even if they do not admit it." The humans used stealth and misdirection. They feigned retreats, drawing the Imperial ships into traps. The Atlas weapons fired in bursts that seemed weak, but each hit focused on critical systems: engines, shield generators, weapons controls. Imperial crews scrambled to respond, but their massive ships could not react as fast as the small human prototype. Ethan realized that the Empire's biggest mistake was their arrogance. They had assumed humans were weak, predictable, and uncoordinated. In reality, the humans were disciplined, clever, and adaptable. Every move of the Atlas was deliberate, exploiting the flaws in a fleet designed to crush others by sheer firepower. Hours passed. The Imperial fleet tried different formations, but each one failed. The Atlas moved between ships, striking at the edges of their formations. Minor alarms on human ships were quickly fixed, while alarms across Imperial ships multiplied. Panic began to spread, though the Empire tried to hide it. Amy spoke quietly to Nathan. "They are starting to adjust. We need to change tactics before they find a way to trap us." Nathan nodded. "We will shift to pattern disruption, keep their attention on multiple targets, move unpredictably, and force their systems to overload." Ryan worked furiously at his console. "I can create a false image of the Atlas. It will appear in 3 positions at once. Their targeting will be split, giving us openings." Jack grinned. "Let's make them think they are surrounded, then strike where they are weakest." The humans executed the plan perfectly. False images appeared on sensors, showing multiple Atlases moving unpredictably. The Imperial crews fired at the wrong targets, wasting energy and exposing openings in their formation. The real Atlas struck quickly, hitting vital systems on several ships. Alarms blared, shields collapsed. Weapons went offline. The Empire had never faced this before. Admiral Loran bellowed over the comms. "How can one ship do this? This is impossible." All units focus fire on the human vessel, but every volley was dodged. The Atlas moved faster than predicted, striking again and again. The Empire realized too late that their arrogance had blinded them. They had thought one small ship could do nothing, but humans had turned every weakness into a weapon. Ethan watched, his heart calm but proud. "This is what we trained for. This is what humans can do when they are underestimated." Lisa Carter added, "They thought we were simple." They do not understand strategy and adaptation. One ship can make a difference when used correctly. The Atlas began to systematically attack the outer edge of the fleet. Engines flared as the ship moved in ways that seemed impossible. Adaptive weapons pierced shields that the Empire believed were unbreakable. Ships went dark, their systems failing one by one. Alarms and confusion spread through the Imperial ranks. Panic replaced arrogance. Nathan remained calm. Keep moving, keep learning. Every mistake they make is an opportunity. Amy targeted another shield generator. I see patterns now. We can exploit their formation. They are losing coordination. Ryan added, our systems can predict their next moves. We strike where they cannot defend. Jack laughed quietly. This is going to be legendary back on Earth. One ship against an Empire fleet. As the battle continued, the humans realized the importance of timing and restraint. They did not need to destroy everything at once. The goal was survival, testing, and showing capability. Yet every strike was precise, weakening the Empire's fleet steadily. Ethan spoke softly, almost to himself. One ship, one crew, one mission, and they will remember that humans are not to be mocked. By the end of the exercise day, minor battleships in the Imperial fleet were failing, some exploding silently in the void. Human tactics, ingenuity, and courage had turned the test into a demonstration of Earth's hidden strength. The Empire had assumed weakness. They had been proven wrong in every way. The humans did not celebrate yet. They knew the larger challenge was still ahead, but they had proven something important, that the human spirit, combined with clever technology and careful planning, could outmatch even overwhelming odds. The Atlas drifted among the stars, damaged but fully operational, its crew calm and ready for the next phase. And in the quiet of space, the Empire realized they had misjudged humans for centuries. What they had mocked as weakness was actually strength, hidden in plain sight. They would never look at Earth the same way again. The Atlas drifted through the dark expanse of space, engines glowing softly as the stars passed by. The human crew was alert, their eyes scanning the Imperial fleet that stretched across the dead star system. The Empire had begun to realize that the small human ship was not ordinary. Panic and confusion were spreading among their crews, though no one admitted it aloud. Captain Nathan Cole stood on the bridge, his hands resting lightly on the console. Tactical Officer Amy Turner pointed at the sensors. They are reorganizing their formation. They are trying to predict our moves. They are panicking, but they will regroup soon. We need to act before they recover. Systems Chief Ryan Bell nodded. Our adaptive weapons are ready. Their shields are still adjusting to our last strikes. If we time this right, we can hit multiple targets at once. Ethan Brooks observed quietly from his command station. Remember, one ship can make a difference if we use intelligence and speed. They expect one attack pattern. We give them many. Pilot Jack Morgan leaned forward, fingers poised on the control panel. I like chaos. Let's make them think we are everywhere at once. The Atlas began its next sequence. Small bursts of light appeared along the fleet's edge, tiny strikes hitting key systems. The Empire tried to fire back, but their weapons were too slow. The human ship twisted unpredictably, dodging volleys of plasma and energy beams. Every move was calculated, every strike precise. Nathan spoke calmly. Focus on shields and engines. Cripple them first, then the rest will fall apart. Amy targeted several ships at once, each shot moving with adaptive precision. I am keeping their attention split. They cannot predict where the next strike will land. Ryan monitored power outputs. We can fire 3 volleys before our energy systems need recalibration. Make them count. The Imperial Admiral Loran's voice boomed over the comms, sharp and angry. Destroy that human ship. All units concentrate fire. But the fleet's size became its weakness. Their massive ships could not change direction quickly enough. Smaller, faster human projectiles found gaps in the shields, hitting engines and weapon systems. Explosions erupted silently, bright flashes against the darkness of space. Ethan watched, feeling a quiet pride. They assumed strength is size. They assumed they could crush one ship easily. They were wrong. Every mistake they make is another advantage for us. The Atlas changed tactics. It feigned retreat, appearing to move away from the center of the fleet. Imperial ships moved to follow, assuming the humans were weak. At the same time, small bursts of fire hit the rear ships, damaging shields and cutting communications. Panic spread among the Empire crews. Signals went missing, ships drifted without orders, and coordination collapsed. Nathan spoke to his crew. Now, hit their formation from the inside, focus on command ships, break their coordination. If we can destroy their central nodes, the rest will be chaos. Amy targeted the communication hubs on 2 large cruisers. Shields are weakening. They cannot restore them fast enough. Ryan added, energy distribution is failing. Engines on multiple ships are offline. They are losing control, Jack grinned. They thought they could overwhelm us. Let's show them what humans can do with skill and timing. The Atlas moved swiftly among the Imperial ships, weaving between larger vessels that seemed immovable. Its weapons fired with adaptive precision, hitting weak points, causing cascading failures. Smaller ships collided with one another as their crews tried to regain control. The fleet's coordination collapsed further with every strike. Admiral Loran's voice became desperate. Target the human ship, fire everything, do not let it escape. But the more they fired, the more openings appeared. The human crew used every advantage, speed, knowledge, and clever tactics. The Atlas was small and difficult to hit, while every volley it fired weakened the Empire fleet further. Ethan Brooks observed silently. They are learning from fear, not strategy. Humans are the opposite. We use every move to create advantage. Hours passed as the Atlas continued to attack. The Imperial fleet's size, once its greatest strength, became its greatest weakness. Ships drifted, engines failed, weapons went offline. Alarms blared across the Empire's vessels, but no crew could respond fast enough. The humans moved like shadows, striking again and again, always one step ahead. Nathan spoke to Amy. We are ready for the next phase. Hit the command nodes, force them to retreat or collapse completely. Amy adjusted her targeting systems. I have them locked. 3 volleys can destroy command and control. After that, the fleet will be crippled, Ryan confirmed. Energy surges are optimal. Shields will fail under sustained fire. The Atlas struck with precision. Massive Imperial ships went dark one by one. Explosions lit the void. Smaller vessels drifted aimlessly. The remaining ships tried to regroup, but their communications were cut, their weapons disabled, and their engines crippled. Chaos ruled the fleet. Ethan felt a quiet sense of awe. Humans had always been underestimated. Their size, their numbers, their appearance, everything was judged incorrectly. But humans had endurance, ingenuity, and courage. One ship, one crew had turned the Empire's confidence into fear. Nathan spoke to the crew calmly. We are not done. Maintain pressure. Let them see that underestimating humans is fatal. Amy targeted the last remaining command ship. This is the final strike. We can end their coordination completely. Ryan monitored energy levels. Systems are stable. We have power for this one. Jack adjusted his position. Let's make history. The final strike hit the central command ship. Shields collapsed, engines failed, weapons went offline. The rest of the fleet had no guidance, no coordination. Some ships retreated blindly, others drifted into collisions. The Empire fleet, once immense and confident, was in ruins. Admiral Loran's voice was barely audible over the comms. How can one ship do this? This is impossible. The fear was clear, though he tried to mask it. The humans had done what no one thought possible. One small ship had crippled an entire fleet. Ethan Brooks spoke quietly. They mocked us. They believed we were weak. Now they know that humans are more than strength or numbers. We are resilience, strategy, and courage. The Atlas drifted among the wreckage. The human crew remained calm, repairing minor damage, monitoring systems, and preparing for any counterattack. But the Empire would not attack again soon. Fear had replaced arrogance. The humans had proven that even a small crew with clever strategy could change the outcome of a battle against overwhelming odds. Nathan looked out at the stars. We have survived the impossible. We have shown that humans cannot be underestimated. Amy nodded. And they will remember this. Every planet that mocked Earth will hear of what we did. Ryan added, one ship against a fleet, they will call it legend. Jack smiled. And we were just getting started. Ethan Brooks observed silently. The humans had turned the tables completely. The Empire had mocked Earth's prototypes, believing them weak and incapable. But the Atlas had proved that human ingenuity, courage, and teamwork could overcome any obstacle. One ship, one crew, had made the Empire rethink everything they believed about humans. The stars were quiet again. Explosions faded into the distance. The void of space held the remnants of a fleet that had once seemed unstoppable. The Atlas moved forward, engines steady, crew ready, proud, and alive. The humans had won not just by firepower, but by thinking differently, by staying calm under pressure, and by using every advantage cleverly. And in the silence of space, the Empire would learn that humans were not just Deathworld survivors. They were warriors, strategists, and legends in the making. One ship had changed everything, and the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. The Atlas moved slowly through the remnants of the Imperial fleet. The stars reflected off the broken hulls of massive ships, silent in the void. Human crews worked quietly, repairing minor damage, checking systems, and scanning the battlefield. The silence was heavy, but it was not fear. It was a calm born of victory. Captain Nathan Cole watched the fleet through the observation window, noting how chaos had replaced the once perfect Imperial formations. Ethan Brooks stood beside him, arms crossed. "They thought they could intimidate us," he said quietly. "They thought size and numbers meant everything. They were wrong. Humans are more than that." Tactical Officer Amy Turner adjusted her instruments. "They will try to recover, but they are afraid now. Fear changes behavior. The Empire cannot ignore humans anymore." Systems Chief Ryan Bell added, "And they will talk about this battle. Every fleet, every academy, every command ship will hear the story. We have changed how the galaxy sees Earth." Pilot Jack Morgan leaned back in his seat, smiling faintly. "All it took was one ship and the right crew. I hope they enjoy learning this lesson." The Atlas moved closer to the largest Imperial ship still intact. Its engines were damaged, shields barely operational. Nathan spoke into the comms, using the universal translation. "This is Captain Cole of the Atlas. Your fleet has been crippled. We do not wish to destroy you completely. Retreat and report what has happened. Humans are not to be underestimated." There was silence on the other end. Then a voice, trembling slightly, replied, This cannot be. One ship, one crew, how is this possible?" Ethan spoke softly. "You assumed humans were weak. You mocked Earth's prototypes. Now you know we are not weak. You will tell others what you saw." The human crew worked efficiently, moving through the wreckage to assist any ships that could be repaired. They had not come to annihilate for pride, had come to demonstrate strength and skill. Every move was precise, every decision calculated to show that humans could be clever and courageous, even when facing overwhelming odds. Nathan looked at the stars, thinking about the human race. Humans had survived harsh worlds, deadly environments, and countless threats. They had learned to adapt, to fight, and to endure. The Atlas was a reflection of that spirit, small, clever, and unstoppable when used wisely. Amy monitored the fleet's communications. "They are sending messages to their superiors. Fear and confusion are spreading. They cannot believe what they have seen. Humans will be taken seriously now." Ryan added, "They will remember that the Atlas was just a prototype. Earth has more ships like this, more crews trained for survival and combat. They underestimated humans entirely." Ethan nodded. "That is the lesson. Humans are not defined by size, weapons, or appearances. We are defined by courage, ingenuity, and determination. One ship proved that today." The Imperial crews began to retreat, some quietly drifting away, others using what engines remained. The humans observed but did not pursue aggressively. The goal had been achieved. The Empire now knew that humans were a force to be reckoned with. Nathan spoke to his crew. "We have done what was necessary. We have shown strength, skill, and strategy. The Empire will remember Earth differently from now on. They will think twice before mocking us again." Amy smiled faintly. "And they will teach their young about what happened. Humans will be legends in the galaxy." Jack grinned. "I like that. One ship and the story will be told for generations." Ethan looked around the bridge. His crew was tired but proud. They had faced what seemed impossible and succeeded. Their teamwork, courage, and careful planning had turned the Empire's arrogance into fear. Humans had shown that strength was not only in numbers or size, but in intelligence, adaptation, and determination. Nathan activated the ship's repair systems. "We need to make sure we can leave safely. Any ship we help repair is a future ally, or at least a witness to what humans can do." Amy and Ryan worked together, stabilizing the nearby Imperial vessels. Even in defeat, the humans acted with control and precision. Ethan spoke softly, almost to himself. "This is how humans survive. We do not rely only on firepower. We rely on strategy, courage, and the ability to adapt. The galaxy now knows this truth." The Atlas drifted toward a safer orbit, away from the wreckage. The human crew took a moment to breathe, to acknowledge what they had accomplished. The stars were quiet again, but the universe had changed. Humans were no longer mocked or underestimated. They had earned respect, even from those who had once laughed at them. Nathan spoke to his crew. "Today, humans have shown what we can do. Remember this feeling. Remember that skill, courage, and cleverness can overcome any challenge. We have set a new standard," Amy added, "and the Empire will remember. Every fleet, every academy, every planet will know the name Atlas and the crew that defeated a fleet." Jack smiled. "Legends in the making, that's humans for you." Ethan looked out at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of threats and challenges, but humans had shown that they were capable. One ship, one crew had changed how an empire thought of Earth. The message was clear. Humans were strong, clever, and resilient. No one should doubt them again. As the Atlas prepared to leave the system, Nathan reflected on the mission. "We came to test, we came to survive, and we have done more than that. We have changed perceptions, proven our strength, and shown that humans are not weak." Amy and Ryan checked systems one last time. "We are ready for the journey home," Amy said. "The galaxy will hear about this and humans will be remembered." Jack laughed softly. "And they will never forget the Atlas." Ethan nodded, satisfied. The humans had achieved something extraordinary. The Empire had mocked them, thinking them weak and primitive. Now the Empire knew that humans could fight, adapt, and win against overwhelming odds. One small crew and a prototype ship had done what countless fleets could not. Proved that humans were a force to be reckoned with. The Atlas moved away from the dead star system, engines glowing steadily. The stars stretched before them, calm and infinite. The human crew knew that this was only the beginning. Earth had many more ships, many more crews, and many more battles ahead. The Empire had learned a valuable lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated, mocked, or ignored. And in the silence of space, the Atlas carried not only a crew but the pride of an entire species. Humans had proven that one ship could change history, that courage and cleverness could triumph over arrogance and size. The galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again, and the story of the Atlas would be told for generations as a warning, a lesson, and a legend. The stars glimmered ahead and humans moved forward, ready for whatever challenges awaited. They had faced the impossible and they had won. The galaxy had seen the truth. Humans were strong, clever, and unstoppable when united. One ship, one crew had made all the difference. The Atlas sailed on, quiet and steady, carrying the pride of Earth and the knowledge that humans had carved their place in the galaxy. The Empire had learned to fear and respect a species it had once mocked. The story of the human crew and the Atlas would spread across stars, inspiring all who heard it to remember that even the smallest ship, with the right crew, could change the fate of empires. Humans had won not just a battle but recognition, and the galaxy had begun to see the truth. Strength is not only in size or weapons, but in courage, strategy, and the will to endure. The Atlas would be remembered, and humans would never again be underestimated. Galactic Empire mocked Earth's prototypes. Then one ship wiped their fleet HFY story.